Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of the WMMA 5 series of Pride FC in the year 2000 still, as we have the Pride 10 Return of the Warrior show, as what a card that's going to be. We're not going to run it down because we'll run it down here when we start the show, but before we do that, let's kind of look at the rest of the world right now. This Dan Severn Volkan match, that is a very historic heavyweight grappling bout if I've ever seen one. Dan Severn and Volkan. That would be awesome to see. As that, and then of course, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. Couple of shows too early from what had really happened, but in my opinion, one of the most iconic post-fight, not even just post-fight, just most iconic shots in MMA history when Chuck Liddell afterwards, his arms spread, yelling, and just that shot of him is one of the most iconic things I think in MMA history, and that's just such an iconic moment for UFC. Really, the biggest moment, and then it's like that, and then it's like the fucking Ultimate Fighter Season 1 fight with Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar. And, I think as far as, like, the timeline, it goes from that to that. So that'd be awesome to see. Hopefully, Chuck Liddell wins. We're hoping. Fingers crossed. But, I just wanted to run through that real quick before we started the show. So let's get into it. So obviously we see the card. Tom Erickson, Igor, Fedor Belfort, Renato Sobral, Mark Kerr, Goodrich, Ensin, Ebenezer Fontes, Baraga, Dan Henderson, his debut in Pride against Alan Goes, Big Gaz Vegeta, and Misaki Satake as far as running up the opener, the first thing on the card. So then we have Ryan Gracie, Carlos Newton, Ryan Gracie's debut in the MMA and Pride, and then Fedor Emelianenko's debut in Pride, debut against Bob Schreiber. What a card! Hopefully, what a card we shall see. As that's going to be exciting for sure. So here's the analysis of the Blur Cats pre-show analysis for the 6 main fights of the 2 premier prelim fights. As we have obviously Tom Erickson 11-0-1, 5-0 in Pride against Igor as a 6-1-1. The one being a no contest in Pride and heavyweight fights. Oh, sorry about that. As Mark Kerr, Smashing Machine, is coming off a unanimous decision win over Carlos Barreto at Pride 9. As we have Fedor Belfort, his first fight since Pride 9 against his submission win over Joel de Oliveira. As then we have Gary Goodrich, who's making his return after losing and getting his fucking clock cleaned out by Igor at the final show of the Grand Prix. As in Vegeta, who lost his undefeated status, even though he was just 1-0 against Ken Shamrock in his previous fight at the finals, who's the 11th ranked Pride heavyweight. As and we have all 7 staff members of Blur Cat in the Igor corner. That's going to be interesting to see. Igor, the big favorite, big heavyweight favorite, a big favorite in the betting lines. I forget off the top of my head what the betting line was, but I remember Igor was a favorite. Didn't think he was a big favorite, but we shall see. As this is Tom Erickson main eventing a Pride show for the second time. Igor is the first ranked heavyweight in Pride. It was Tom Erickson's 4th. Erickson's got the significant weight advantage, though. Obviously, he's 30 pounds heavier. So we'll see if that plays into effect. Usually it does, for the most part. As Fedor Belfort, Renato Sobral, 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. 7th ranked Fedor Belfort and 6th ranked Sobral. Sobral has submitted 4 of his last 5. He'll beat Fedor Belfort's finished 3 of his last 5. First time they fought, all eyes on Fedor Belfort, with the Blur Cat staff picking all 7 for Fedor Belfort. This is the Pride debut for Renato Sobral. I think this is going to be a great fucking fight, to be honest. I can't wait to see that fight. As the Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr, and Gary Big Daddy Goodrich. As Gary Goodrich is 3-0 against everybody in the Lion's Den. Mark Kerr is ranked 2nd in heavyweights, and Gary Goodrich is ranked 6th. First time they have fought as well. All 7 going with Mark Kerr. I think that's the safe bet there, Mark Kerr. I think he's going to win pretty pretty seamlessly. Hopefully it's a good fight, though. As the first time this has kind of been split down the middle for the staff picks, Ensin and Noe and Ebenezer Fontes Baraga, as you're ranked 15th and 17th as far as light heavyweights in the world. As Ensin and Noe submitted 3 of his last 5. This is also the first time they have fought, as Ensin and Noe's got 4 wins for the staff pick, and Baraga's got 3 people thinking he's going to win. I think this is going to be a sleeper fight. I think it's going to be a really good fight. Ebenezer Fontes Baraga's got a fun fighting style with that lucha libre style. It's going to be awesome. Dan Henderson and Alan Goes. This is actually the first time we've had someone on the card actually face each other before, as at UFC 17 Redemption. On the prelims, Dan Henderson won by unanimous decision. Alan Goes has submitted 3 of his last 5, while Dan Henderson has won 3 of his last 5 by decision. Both fighters are world ranked in the light heavyweight world. It's Dan Henderson's 4th, Alan Goes is 10th. This is Dan Henderson's Pride debut, of course, and 7 for Dan Henderson with the staff pick, so I'm going to win. As not a big betting line favorite or anything. As Vegeta and Masataki Sataki. Vegeta's ranked 11th, Sataki's ranked 17th. I don't think Sataki's going to win anytime soon. Everybody on the roster is just significantly better than him. We have Ronan Yoji Anjo. He might beat him if we do an open weight fight, but who knows? As Vegeta is killing it. He's got a favorite by a huge margin in the betting lines. As the 2 prelim fights, Ryan Gracie's pro debut. This has Carlos Newton as a big favorite. As that's really no surprise. Carlos Newton's a bad motherfucker. The Ronin. Carlos Newton. As my God, that's gonna be interesting. As Ryan Gracie, we'll see if he can keep that Gracie legacy. I wanted him to actually face Vanderlei Silva, but obviously that's not gonna happen because Gracie's making his pro debut of Vanderlei Silva's arguably one of the best fighters in the world this time now, as he's been on a fucking tear. And plus, he knocked out Renzo. Wanted him to take on both after he knocked out Renzo. Wanted him to take on Hoist, but Hoist doesn't want to fight him. It's too much of a step up. Wanted him to at least take on a Gracie to keep it going, but it is what it is. As in Fedor Emelianenko, the last Emperor, making his pro debut, his Pride debut against Bob Schreiber. Everybody, I think he's like minus 11,000 for the betting odds. This is going to be a clean sweep of Fedor beating him, hopefully within a minute or so. Fingers crossed. As the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko, making his debut in the MMA world. Yeah, minus 990. Insane. So our first of the 2 prelim fights. Our referee, our judges. Here we go. Fedor just ignoring the touch of gloves. Schreiber's forcing an exchange of strikes. Fedor lands the left hand in the exchange. A 1-2 from Bob. Schreiber fails to land. Schreiber moves forward, constantly trying to pressure Fedor in exchanging strikes. Fedor lands a left hand in exchange. Schreiber lands a left jab, but Fedor steps back to avoid a right head kick. Boy, that would have been real bad if that would have landed. Throws a 2-punch combo, but Fedor avoids both of them. Fedor seizes the chance and grabs Schreiber into the clinch. Tries to wrestle Schreiber backwards up against the ropes. He does so. Now Schreiber's pinned up against the ropes. Is looking for a suplex of some kind on Schreiber. He hits a hugely impressive suplex and gets side control. Fires off a handful of punches, each easily blocked with gloves. Throws a few weak-looking punches as he decides on his next move. He attempts to move to mount. He doesn't get mount, but only because Schreiber rolled over, giving up his back instead, as Fedor is pounding away on Schreiber, landing several great shots that rock him, as referee jumps in and saves Schreiber from taking more shots, as Fedor wins by TKO. That was quick, seamless, probably not painless, very painful, but it is over. Fedor Emelianenko 1-0, making his MMA debut, his Pride debut, as he thanks his sponsors, his fans, celebrating his debut fight for Pride. Awesome. As now we have Ryan Gracie and Carlos Newton, a minus 730, Ryan Gracie plus 580. As far as close fight, I think this is a really good matchup for Ryan Gracie. They're both the same height. Carlos Newton is 6 pounds heavier, even though he's 0-0, really has no experience. He is older, so we'll see how that goes. No team though. He would be with like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but like I don't think people who debut in the world, they don't start with like a team. You can't like kind of destine them to join a team, a certain team. That'd be nice, but it is what it is. As John McCarthy, a referee, Big John McCarthy, our judges. Here we go. No touch of gloves, as drawing an audible reaction for the crowd. Everyone's just like, oh, dirty little bastards. As Newton appeared to be going to try to get in close, but Gracie took the initiative first. Ryan Gracie lands a left jab, and Newton avoids a big right. Newton hits two tentative left hands, and neither with anything behind them. Gracie throws a quick punch, but doesn't hit. Newton comes forward and willingly to take a few shots as long as he can get close enough to wrestle. A 1-2 from Gracie fails to land. Newton gets hold of Gracie. Newton attempts a leg sweep to put Gracie on the ground, and he executes an outside leg sweep, sweeping Gracie to the mat where he pulls half guard. Newton tries to pound on Gracie, but all the blows are comfortably dealt with. Gracie uses an underhook to work some separation, then quickly scrambles. It's a bad choice though, as Newton seizes the opportunity for insecure side control. Newton throws a few right hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead. Gracie tries to transition to a guard, but he can't manage it, as Newton fires off a handful of punches each, easily being blocked with gloves. Gracie tries to transition to a guard, but he can't manage it. Newton throws a few strikes, but they are without venom. Looking to catch his breath, Newton is content just to throw a couple of punches to the body, as Newton blocks the attemptable guard. Looking to catch his breath, Newton is content just to throw a couple of punches to the body. I mean, he's just stalled at this point. Big John McCarthy's got to stand back up. He shoots for a takedown. He gets it. Newton's in half guard, halfway mark. He's trying to work the side control, but it results in a scramble as Gracie tries to get back up. He ends up in half guard, attempts to half guard. Newton keeps his half guard secure. He gets some separation, tries to scramble for position as he seizes the opportunity, but Newton was too slow and gets caught in side control. Gracie's throwing some small strikes, but he's clearly just trying to take a moment to catch his breath. Newton tries to pull guard on Gracie, but he doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Gracie throws a few right hands, but is mainly trying to catch his breath. Gracie blocks attempt to pull guard, fires off punches, but they aren't with any great force. Gracie begins to try to get himself in mount. He loses his control momentarily, and he tries to mount. As he tries to mount, and the scramble begins. The scramble results in Newton being on his back, pulling guard. Gracie pounds away, but fails to land any significant blows. Newton uses his legs to push Gracie back to try to scramble for position. Gracie's too quick, though, and grabs side control before Newton can get up. Throws a few right hands, but mainly just trying to catch his breath. Newton tries to move to guard, but Gracie doesn't allow it. As Gracie pounds away, but Newton isn't troubled by the strikes. As that's the end of the first round. So, Carlos Newton, he did the takedowns, had the 2-for-2 on takedowns. They pretty much landed the exact same, ground strikes and total strikes, only one more jab on the standing. You have both men kind of failed on ground passes. Really, they just, actually, Carlos Newton was 1-for-1. I'm sorry. But, 1-for-1 for Carlos Newton. I would give him the slight edge, but it's a close one, though. I mean, really, for the first amount of the fight, first 5 minutes, felt like Carlos Newton won. And once kind of Ryan Gracie, the last 5 minutes, felt like he was in control of the fight. Interesting, very interesting. Close first round. We'll see if it goes to decision or if someone catches somebody with a submission or something. I think it's gonna go the distance. As two fighters come together in a clinch and start wrestling, Gracie seems to get the advantage, using his wrestling skills. Gracie's trying to push Newton up against the ropes. Newton isn't going anywhere though, as using his wrestling skills, again trying to push him up against the ropes. He gets it. Now he's pinned Newton to the ropes. Gracie with a vicious foot stomp. Newton takes a knee strike to the inside of his own knee. As looking with the ropes trapping Newton, Gracie looks for a trip takedown by sweeping the leg. An outside leg sweep sweeps Newton to the ground where he's left on his back with side control. Gracie fires away with punches, but Newton doesn't take any undue damage. Newton tries to transition to guard, but he can't manage it. Inside control, Gracie catches his breath, content to just throw a couple of punches to the body. Gracie throws a few strikes, but it's clearly slowing things down so that he can catch his breath. Gracie pounds away, but Newton clearly deals with him. As breathing very hard, Gracie's looking ragged. Newton tries to transition to guard, but he can't. Gracie pounds away, but Newton clearly, calmly deals with him. Newton tries to transition to guard, but he can't. Throws a few punches, but it's mainly trying to catch his breath. Gracie blocks Newton as he tries to transition the guard. Gracie pounds away, but Newton is in trouble by the strikes. Newton tries to pull guard, but Gracie doesn't get anywhere with the attempt, and that's the end of the round. And the fight is over. So really, for that second round, if you look at everything, that's all. That's all Ryan Gracie. I'd be shocked if Ryan Gracie doesn't win this fight. He dominated that second round. I think a unanimous decision, Ryan Gracie. Here we go. Yep, we have one for Ryan Gracie, one for Carlos Newton, and one for Ryan Gracie. I'm surprised someone actually gave Carlos Newton the fight after seeing him get pretty much dominated that whole second round. Winner by split decision in pretty big upset, plus 580 upset, Ryan Gracie by split decision. Yeah, that second round was pretty dull, but Ryan Gracie had to do what he had to do to win that fight. Wow. As he name checks all the sponsors, thanks all the fans who turned out to support him, celebrates his debut fight for Pride. Wow, what an upset. As Alright, because Vegeta with a minus 1,100 taking on Masasaki Satake. Referee Mario Yamasaki. Our judges, both fighters with good reaction during the entrances. You have two hometown favorites squaring off this bout. We are underway. Vegeta wants to grapple and appears willing to aggressively come in to do so, even if it means risking him some strikes. Satake uses the left jab, but Vegeta avoids a big right. Vegeta gets a hold of Satake without taking too much damage, looking for a trip takedown. He's going to get the trip takedown. He's inside control. Arm triangle. He gets it. He taps out Satake. It's all over. Vegeta wins in a minute and 15 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty much how I expected that to happen. A kickboxer with absolutely no defense on the ground, no takedown defense. He just needs to fight actual guys who will stand up and fight with him. That was a bit of a tomato can for Kaz Vegeta. That was an easy win for him, no surprise there. As Takata Gym, Kaz Vegeta thanks his sponsors on his fan. As now our second fight, the main fight, Dan Henderson 8-0, Alan goes 5-1-2. Referee our judges. Round 1 begins. Goes rather obviously ignores the offer to touch gloves. All right, so Alan goes is very pissed off. Man, gets close enough to clinch. Goes tries to lock his legs around the waist of Henderson, wanting to pull him down the floor. As we have. It doesn't work, though. Henderson responds by violently slamming to the ground. Jesus Christ. As apparently unwilling to engage, Henderson lets his opponent stand back up. Yeah, that's, a smart move. You get the takedown, stand right back up. You're in Alan Coe's kind of world when he's on his back. As Dan Henderson confidently moves in closer, looking to throw some strikes. Goes appear to be looking for a takedown, but Henderson took the initiative first. A jab is wide from Henderson when he scores with the right cross. Henderson steps in and works his way to the dominant position in the clinch. Henderson goes with a knee strike to the body from the grappling. Henderson tries to muscle up, goes up against the ropes. He does, and Henderson doesn't, and goes is stuck with his back to the ropes. Henderson has gotten underhooks in and is looking to take Goes to the ground. As he does, sweeps the legs and Goes down hard. The takedown allows Henderson to take the back of Goes. Henderson pounds away but is unable to land many clean shots of Goes. Henderson tries to get both hooks in but can't quite manage it. Goes tries to move Henderson off his back but can't. Henderson bounds away on Goes, landing several good shots in the process, fires away with punches but does little in the way of damage. Goes tries to turn over and sweep Henderson but can't do it. Henderson pounds away with his right but fails to land any significant blows. Goes tries to a roll but doesn't budge Henderson, as Henderson tries to get both hooks in but can't quite manage it. Tries to move Henderson off his back but he can't, as it goes prevents Henderson from getting his hooks in. So now we're just pretty much at a stalemate, as Henderson's not letting him get off his back, and Henderson Goes is blocking any attempts at getting the hooks in for him to get a rear naked choke. Yep, and he keeps on doing that. Yep. Yeah, and then the referee gonna stand him back up. There goes a takedown attempt by Goes. Goes came in too slow, as Dan Ensin was able to counter, catching him with a knee strike, and he gets knocked down from the knee. As since his victory starts unloading with some punches, Dan Henderson pounds away on Ghost, who is getting destroyed by repeated heavy shots to the head, and there's the referee jumping in to stop the fight. By knockout, your winner. My God. Alan Ghost gets knocked out. What a fucking fight to, what a great job by Dan Henderson. Goes for a shoot takedown, gets the knee up, knocks him out with that, and goes on top and hits some TKOs. That's fucking awesome. Great job. Great fucking job. Great fight. 9-0 now, Dan Henderson. Thanks everyone connected to Team Quest for helping him prepare for this fight, his sponsors, and for supporting him financially. He celebrates his Pride debut victory and says he's already looking forward to his next fight. Ensin and Ebenezer Fontes Baraga. As another match is about to begin, Ensin and and Ebenezer Fontes Baraga, of course, 10-4 wrestling jiu-jitsu, with a Ebenezer Fontes Baraga 11-5-1 with a Muay Thai Lucha Livre background. Look at that betting odds. Minus 140, minus 110. This is going to be a hell of a fight. Referee Mario Yamasaki, our judges, about to fight in his home crowd. Ensin Inoue, unsurprisingly, gets a loud ovation from his crowd. Fight begins. Defense jab hits from Ensin. Baraga lands a left hand and lands a right hand. Jab hits home for Baraga, then he lands a right hand. There's a takedown attempt from Ensin. Baraga gets taken down by a single leg and has to pull guard. Ensin attempts to pass guard and gaining the better advantage. He passes guard but loses control. Momentarily, the scramble begins. The scramble allows Ensin to take his opponent's back. As all, he's got a rear naked choke applied, but Baraga doesn't allow the arm to go underneath his chin. Oh, he's looking to get the rear naked choke, but he blocks it as Ensin blocks Baraga as he tries to roll over. Successfully gets both hooks in, and he's looking to get another rear naked choke. He gets it, and Baraga is flattened out with the rear naked choke. He taps. Ensin Inoue gets the win by submission with the rear naked choke, and that gets a great fight rating. 302, the rear naked choke. That was very surprising. I thought that was going to go the distance, but once he got the back, it was a very dangerous spot for Ebenezer Fontes Baraga, especially with so much time left in the fight. It was only a matter of time before Ensin Inoue locked in that rear naked choke. He got it on the second attempt, and he gets the fight win. 11-4 for Ensin Inoue, 11-6-1 for Ebenezer Fontes Baraga. Ensin Inoue thanks all of his sponsors for backing him, and also thanks his family, friends, and supporters. As the Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr gets Gary Big Daddy Goodrich is our next fight. Minus 300, plus 230. Our referee, our judges. Here we go. Goodrich throws a punch, but Kerr was equal to it. A jab is wide from Goodrich, but he hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. Kerr looks hurt. That blow may have broken his jaw. Oh my God, we have a broken jaw. As Goodrich can't hit a setup left jab, but then he hits a nice straight right that lands hard. Goodrich is confident, moving in closer, looking to throw some strikes. Kerr may be aiming to get in close, but Goodrich aggressively took the initiative. Goodrich can't hit a setup left jab, but then scores with a fantastic right cross, and it is a knockout. Kerr is down and out. Gary Goodrich with an upset knockout win. My God, Big Daddy getting the win, 11-10. As Mark Kerr, 12-2-1, no contest. What a fucking... Gary Goodrich is the Lions Den demolisher. 4-0 against Lions Den, people. That is a 40-second knockout win. My God, obviously the broken jaw from the first really big, significant strike landing, that definitely fucked up Mark Kerr. And then to get the knockout, to keep going afterwards, that is very, shows you what type of machine the Smash Machine Mark Kerr is, but... What a huge win for Gary Goodrich. My God. Yeah, it gives a name check to everyone at Hammer House, of various sponsors and his friends, family, and supporters. And oh man, the interviewer asks who he's interested in fighting next. He wants a rematch with Igor. And, my God. He knocked out Mark Kerr. Maybe he's going to get a rematch. That was a hell of a fight. That fight was nuts. Igor was wanting to murder this poor man. And he's better prepared because he's coming for him. He better get prepared, Igor. Get ready. Gary Goodrich might be coming up next as our co-main event. Fedor Belfort, the Phenom, against Renato Sobral. As Renato Sobral making his debut in Pride, 11-0. Fedor Belfort 7-2 and minus 150 plus 110. From Renato Sobral, both young men here, 22, 24, 6'1", 6 foot. Both men, obviously 205 in the middleweight division. Big John McCarthy, referee, our judges. So here we go. Belfort comes forward, two fighters trade blows. Sobral throws a counter jab but misses. Belfort can't hit a setup right jab, but then he scores a left cross and landed hard, as he can't find the setup right jab, but then he catches Sobral with a crunching left hook. Backing off, Sobral stumbles and almost goes down. I think he's hurt. Belfort pounces and smashes Sobral with a big left hand. Down he goes, a knockdown, as he senses victory, starts unloading with punches, as he pounds away on Sobral, landing several great shots that rock him. And that's a TKO win. Fedor Belfort getting the win. My God, what a fucking card this has been. I mean, Jesus Christ. A TKO win, a minute into the fight, 57 seconds to be exact. Renato Sobral loses his first ever MMA fight, 11-1. Fedor Belfort, 8-2. Jesus. As he name checks everyone involved in Brazilian top team, goes through the sponsors one by one. He thanks God by inspiring him. As our main event, it's already here. Jesus Christ. Tom Erickson, the big cat. Ice cold Igor Vanovic. As we have the, main eventing. Tom Erickson, ice cold Igor. I don't think, listen, how many fights have ended within the first, minute, first 2 minutes, 3 minutes now? I'd be surprised. I think this one's going to go the distance. I mean, 6'3", 5'8", the height difference, the weight difference is going to come into a factor. That's for sure. Mario Yamazaki, our referee, our judges, facing a major size disadvantage as Igor. He's probably given up at least 30 pounds. We're underway. Two fighters touch glove as Igor lands a left hand and then hits a body kick. Throws a punch, but Erickson avoids it. Erickson seizes the chance to shoot in on Igor. He gets the takedown as Igor's got to pull guard. Time slips away as Erickson successfully keeps Igor stuck against the ground. He's just wasting time. Erickson looking to get past guard. He passes guard well. He's gaining side control. Igor was ready for it, though, and starts scrambling immediately. Erickson ends up having to pull half guard, losing out in the scramble. Igor pounds away on Erickson, but can't land any significant strikes. Igor fires away with punches, and Erickson is stung by several big shots. Igor gets caught up in the moment and leaves himself open as Tom Erickson trips him and off balance, and he scrambles. Scramble leaves Erickson on his back pulling guard. Igor punches down on Erickson, but they are easily taken on the gloves. Erickson drags Igor in close control, then he hits him with a couple of shots as Igor punches down on Erickson, but they are easily taken to the damage as Igor pounds away with punches, but does minimal damage as Erickson tries to sweep Igor, but doesn't get anywhere with it. Igor begins trying to pass guard and gets a better position, isn't able to pass guard on this attempt. Erickson tries to catch Igor with a punch, but is not on target. Igor pounds away with punches, but does minimal damage. Erickson pulls Igor down and close and hits him with a couple of short punches to the side of the head. A lack of progress versus referee Mario Yamazaki to stand the fighters back up. Erickson has looked like he was angling for a takedown attempt, but he couldn't take the initiative. Igor can't hit a setup left jab, but then hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. A jab is wide, but then he hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. Igor is wincing. That last punch may have actually damaged his own hand. He might have broke his own hand there. As, boy. Yeah, if he did break his hand, his jab just got a whole lot tougher. Can't hit a set of left jab, but he scores with a nice right cross. Igor fails to find a home for his jab, but he then hits Erickson with a straight right. Igor's still moving well, but he's definitely breathing a little deeper now. Erickson looking like he was going to step in and grapple, but Igor simply took the initiative first. Igor lands a left jab and misses with a body kick. A punch from Igor fails to land. Erickson clearly respects his opponent's striking and is very wary about getting close enough to grapple. Igor lands a jab, then catches Erickson with a right hook as Igor connects with a jab and then scores with a right cross, circling warily as Erickson's looking for a chance to get close enough to grapple. Igor can't connect with a setup strike, but then lands a right hand. Takedown attempt from Erickson. He gets the takedown. Igor's on his back and he pulls guard. Erickson attempts to pass guard and gain a better position. He passes the half guard, and that's the end of the first round. Let's go back, fight metrics to really see. Obviously, you had Tom Erickson, once it was to the ground, felt like, with the ground passes and the sweeps and whatnot, and the takedowns. But really, he only did 4 jabs the whole 10 minutes. Whereas Igor, he landed, some power shots, landed some jabs, he landed kicks. He, had some strikes on the ground, 26 ground strikes. I'd give the round of Igor, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think he won the round. As the final round, we're back on the way. Igor comes in looking to strike. Tom Erickson appeared to be going to try and get in close, but Igor took the initiative first. Igor fails to find a home for his jab, and then he hits Erickson with a straight right. Erickson clearly respects his opponent's striking, as he's very wary about getting close enough to grapple. Igor hits a left jab, then catches Erickson with a right hook. Igor confidently moves in closer, looking to throw some strikes. A jab is wide from Igor, but then he lands a right hand. Igor is starting to have to push himself now, as his corner's response by urging him on a little louder. Igor can't connect with the jab, but he catches Erickson with a right hook, as Tom Erickson chooses to shoot in on Igor, and he gets the takedown. Igor pulls guard. Clock runs down as Igor is being smothered by Tom Erickson up against in the ground. Smothers him, looking to pass to the guard. He keeps his guard secure, doesn't let Igor pull him in, close to be smothered. As the clock runs down again, looking to get smothered. Starting to work past the guard. He struggles to get, but he can't find his way. Remains stuck in guard. And that's the end of the fight. And it's our official decision. All 3 give it to Igor. Hell yeah. So Igor gets the unanimous decision. Felt like he definitely won the first round. The second round, though, Tom Erickson was just laying on top of him, just stalling for time. Which didn't matter, as they get the unanimous decision. Decent fight, too, so we'll take that. As, name checks all of his sponsors, thanks all of his fans, and turned out, and Igor gives a show of respect to his opponent as well. Hell yeah, a critical rating of 68, that's interesting. I figured that'd be a little higher. I mean, pretty much everything but the main event in that prelim fight, everything was either good to decent. I thought it was awesome. I'd give it a little higher rating, but we'll take it, though. 10,000 attendance in Kanto here for Pride 10, Return of the Warriors. As, hell yeah. Our popularity actually decreased in Japan. That's interesting. As, Dan Henderson gets the KO of the night. Ensin with the fight of the night. Ensin and Ebenezer Fontes Baraga with the fight of the night and sub of the night. Hell yeah. Great job. Hell yeah. As, I think I forgot to show the mail. I think I did. So we'll do that real quick. We actually have new mail anyway. As I will have to give Ensin Inoue. Probably will give Alan Ghost too. Strained wrist. As, let's see, Mark Kerr definitely broke his jaw. So that's tough. As, Stephen Quattro, Bas Rutten, Stan Henderson. We signed Yoji Anjo, that was just a thing. And as Walid Asmali left for rings. Trey Dellingman extended his deal. Obviously signed Ryan Gracie. Ronaldo Sobral signed him. As Alexander Atsuka left the Takata gym and joined Parestra. I think that's how you pronounce that. As, I think I forgot to show that. As, you're probably wondering, what the fuck's going on with, Dan Henderson and all this. But, yeah, that's how we signed him. That's how we did all that. As, get rid of that. And we'll sign Alan Goes and then send Inoue back to Pride. Off camera. As, our next fight, probably our last fight of 2000. Or our last show of 2000. Pride 11. Battle of the Rising Sun. Nobuki Takada. Ogawa, Jeremy Horn. Royce Gracie, Mark Coleman, Don Fry, Guy Metzger, Renzo Gracie, Mike Borg, Trey Tellingman, Rich Franklin, Yoji Anjo. That's a big fight for Rich Franklin. Yoji Anjo's let's see, the reason why we signed him is he is low-level international as far as name value. So even at 0-4, he's going to give us some guys who need some boost in the in that department. Guys like Rich Franklin, guys like Quentin Rampage Jackson, guys, debuting into Pride and whatnot. Alexander Otsuka, Quentin Rampage Jackson, Akira Shoji, and Ricardo Arona making his Pride debut. That's going to be very interesting to see, as that will do it for episode 5 of the WMMA 5 Pride FC series. And we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, everyone, with this coronavirus. Jesus Christ, it's getting out of hand. It's real bad out here. But just stay safe, everyone. Wash your hands, sanitize, self-quarantine, whatever you got to do to stay safe out there. And take care. We'll catch you guys next Monday.